They're not announcing it on Wall Street, but some of America's biggest companies are ghosting the U.S. and sliding quietly into Canada's open arms. No press conferences, no headlines, just disappearing jobs, empty factories, and investments rerouted across the border. Is this just about taxes, or is something deeper going on? Why are America's most iconic companies choosing maple leaves over the stars and stripes? Stick around, because the names on this list will shock you, and the reasons behind their move might hit closer to home than you think. Number 6, Coca-Cola. Who would have guessed the king of American soda would ghost the U.S. like a toxic ex? Coca-Cola, the red and white symbol of backyard BBQs and Little League summers, is quietly slipping across the border. No press releases, no goodbye tour, just poof, a packaging plant pops up in Ontario, and aluminum deals get inked in Quebec. Why? Because tariffs smacked U.S. aluminum imports, and Coke's costs went through the roof. Faced with the choice of bleeding billions or finding a backdoor, they picked the quiet escape, move north, don't make a scene. But don't think this is just about aluminum. Jobs disappearing, prices creeping up. That can of Coke in your fridge might soon say, made in Canada. And if Coca-Cola, the poster child of Americana, is dipping out for better deals, who's next? Ford, McDonald's, Katy Perry? Stick with us. Number 5, General Motors. Remember when GM was untouchable? Detroit's pride. The engine of the American dream. Your grandpa probably built Buicks, your uncle drove a Chevy, and someone at Thanksgiving always had a GM paycheck. Fast forward to 2025, and that legacy's peeling off like rust on a forgotten truck, and nobody's sounding the alarm. You'd think a titan like GM would go down swinging. Spoiler, they're not swinging. They're slipping out the back door, quietly, strategically, heading north. While Americans are wondering why their car now costs $7,000 more than it did 3 years ago, GM's already making moves in Ontario. And this isn't some overnight, we out stunt. It's death by 1,000 cuts. Step 1. Parts. GM doesn't build cars in a vacuum. They need thousands of components from hundreds of suppliers. But when the US slapped Canada with 50% steel and aluminum tariffs by mid-2025, GM's supply chain imploded. But no one impulse buys a $45,000 SUV. When US demand stalled, GM blinked and whispered, let's try Canada. If Canada is faster, cheaper, and less bureaucratic, why stay loyal to the chaos? Sure, the GM logo might still shine on showroom floors in Texas or Ohio. Number 4, Alcoa Corporation. You don't see it, you don't hear it. It's starting to show up stamped, made in Canada. And behind that shift, Alcoa, an American industrial icon for over a century, is quietly backing out of the US, and hardly anyone's paying attention. This isn't just a plant move. This isn't about saving a few bucks. This is a slow, calculated decoupling. In 2025, Alcoa got hammered by the industrial version of a triple whammy. Soaring electricity costs, crumbling US smelters, a ruthless 25% tariff on imported aluminum. Sounds backward, right? Welcome to America's industrial circus. So what did Alcoa do? Exactly what any bruised heavyweight would do. It slid north. No noise, no headlines, just one port winding down in Houston while another roars to life in Montreal. One fewer night shift in Texas, a few more trucks crossing Quebec highways, and a $1 billion smelter upgrade in Baie-Comeau quietly placed on pause. But hydroelectric contracts, extended to 2040. Yeah, that's not a coincidence. That's a strategy. Let's be honest, aluminum isn't sexy. It doesn't trend, but it's in everything. And when Alcoa sneezes, entire US industries catch the flu. Cars, electronics, soda, windows, buildings. And if the metal starts flowing from the north, the ripple hits home, fast. Number 3, Campbell Soup. Yep, even soup is jumping ship. Campbell, the warm hug in a bowl, the red and white label that sat in American pantries for generations, is quietly taking its cans and heading north. And no, this isn't some fading 90s nostalgia brand. This is a billion-dollar food empire that's fed up with skyrocketing costs and policy chaos in the US. Here's the cold reality. Over 90% of Campbell's products come in aluminum cans. So when the US slapped a 25% tariff on Canadian aluminum, and then raised prices again, it wasn't just another policy tweak. It was a death sentence for affordable packaging. Campbell doesn't make aluminum, they buy it. And when suppliers jack up prices, that cost doesn't vanish. It lands right in your grocery cart. But let's be real, Campbell's customers aren't exactly rolling in cash. These are tight budgets. Every dime counts. So when each can goes up just 10 cents, shoppers start looking for cheaper shelves, or ditch soup altogether. Guess which option they took? No press release, no heartwarming commercial, just a slow, silent shift. Number 2, Tesla, the company that once screamed, "Made in America." Now it's whispering in French, and drawing blueprints in Ontario. Tesla, the electric revolution on 4 wheels, isn't just building cars, it's redrawing borders, rewriting maps, and moving entire supply chains. And no one's talking about it. This isn't a PR stunt. It's not a Musk tweet. It's pure strategy, cold, calculated, and numbers first. The robot building factory in Markham. That's not some quirky Canadian side quest. It's becoming the heartbeat of Tesla's automation division. Hundreds of new job postings, controls engineers, roboticists, all stacking up quietly. No tweets, no hype. Just action. Blink, and suddenly, the robots building Teslas aren't coming from Texas. They're being assembled just outside Toronto. Meanwhile, over in Quebec, it gets even crazier. Tesla isn't just shopping for battery parts. They're eyeing the whole ecosystem, from mining lithium out of the ground to pressing it into battery cells. And guess what? They're not alone. Canada rolled out a $52.5 billion federal provincial battery chain investment strategy, basically begging Tesla to move in. So why wouldn't they bite? Back in the States, let's just say the vibes aren't exactly electric. Power grid failures, rolling blackouts, utility bills with more plot twists than a horror movie. It's tough to build the future when you can't keep the lights on. And while Tesla won't say it out loud, their US Gigafactory timelines, delayed, quiet, slipping into the dark. Some Tesla fans might shrug and say, it's just expansion, not abandonment. Number 1, Ford, the company that once put the world on wheels, now steering in a whole new direction. And spoiler alert, it's not toward Detroit. Ford, the blueprint of blue-collar pride, the name stitched into American steel, is pouring billions into Canada. Yep, you read that right. Back in 2024, Ford dropped $2.3 billion into Oakville, Ontario. Not Michigan, not Ohio, not even Texas. Why? To crank out more of their money-printing monster, the F-Series Super Duty trucks, one of Ford's best-selling, most profitable beasts, now being birthed in Canada's backyard. And while Americans were still arguing over gas versus electric, Ford was quietly redrawing the blueprint of US manufacturing. But wait, it gets juicier. Oakville was originally locked in for a full electric SUV shift. That was the plan. But when the EV buzz cooled off and battery prices blew up, Ford pumped the brakes. EV dreams, delayed until 2027. Instead, they doubled down on gas-powered trucks. And where can they build them faster, cheaper, cleaner, with fewer headaches?